What's good? Yeah, we're back with another video. Now today we're gonna be reacting to gang member interview-Tyson. Soft white underbelly video. I enjoy these videos because it's a lot of people who've been battle tested in life. I'm not just gonna do gang members. I'm gonna do night workers. I'm gonna do pimps. I'm gonna do all kind of stuff. Get ahead, maybe. I already did the Triple K group dude. It was alright, you know. But it's definitely like I keep my mind open to other people's perspectives, and let's just hop right into it, man. Let's hop right into it. Let's get it. Let's go. Make sure it's running. Cause last time I hit the button and it was running. I hit the button. I thought it was running and it wasn't running. I shot a whole video. I reacted to a whole video. Didn't even want to do it again. Didn't even want to do it again because it wouldn't have been authentic. So let's go.
All right, Tyson. Tyson, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I'm from out of Watts, California.
Watts. Tell me about your family growing up. You have mom and dad?
Yes, I do. I have a biological mother and father that was present in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they still alive to this day. I love them both dearly, you know what I mean? They both priceless, but I had a pretty rough upbringing still. You know,
what is that?
Well, we always came from a household of order, you know what I'm saying, where we were disciplined for the right and wrong things. And just that my father was a little excessive with his discipline, you know. He kind of like didn't stop until you got the point, you know, and he, in case of ass whoopings, we ain't true blood, you know what I mean? He didn't stop till he seen blood, so
Listen, man. If you have kids, the development of a child is very important. Keep that in mind. The development of a child is very important. Anything in excess can cause an imbalance. Too much love, too much discipline can cause an imbalance. This man was created off of that. Off the rip, he was created off that.
Disciplines were a little bit excessive, you know what I mean?
How'd that affect you?
Well, at first it had me, I was confused a little bit, you know. I grew up a long time thinking that fear was respect, you know what I mean? If someone didn't fear me, then they didn't respect me, you know what I mean? But the streets, later on in life, ended up, you know, teaching me the opposite, you know, the opposite.
So you joined the gang?
Yes.
At what age?
I had like 13, 14 years old. That's when I got initiated in, and
Your blood?
yeah, I'm a blood from out of Nixon Gardens. Yeah.
In Nickerson Gardens. I've had
Yeah, the projects.
a bunch of people from there
Yeah, hell
on my channel.
That's my favorite team, man. But and then they, you know, the streets, like I said, they disciplined me and showed me that, you know.
Hold up. Let me get my notebook. Alright, cool. Alright, he said, keep that in mind. He said he had blood.
It wasn't respect is given, respect is earned. You know what I mean?
How far did you go to school?
I went to 12th grade.
You did?
Yeah, I went to 12. I graduated.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You did jail or prison?
Yeah, I did 9 years.
9 years?
9 years straight
What was that
upstate for a strong arm robbery. It was supposed to be 6 years. After 6 years, I was supposed to do 5 years and 1 month. And I ended up doing the whole 6 plus an additional 3.
You got in trouble in jail?
For a mess, yeah.
Prison.
I went to jail in jail. Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 32.
32. What are you doing with your life now?
We the same age. This is 2 years ago, so he's 30. What, 30? Sorry. 34 now. Damn.
Pretty much, I'm gonna be honest with you. I call myself getting used to society. I still, you know, even though I've been out for about 4 years, I'm not used to it.
Institutionalized?
Yes. When I was locked up, I was living, but now that I'm living, I'm locked up. And I told people you don't have to necessarily be in prison to be doing time, you know. I find it a little hard sometimes to socialize or even get along, meet people, you know. Due to the way my lifestyle or certain circumstances is just, or them not knowing me is just sometimes hard for people who seems to meet me or me to meet them, you know, when I want to meet them the most.
You think of the tattoos?
Yeah.
Kind of give
For sure.
Make everybody, they judge you right from the get-go?
Exactly. And then some of the things, I'm not a fool, but I guess I was up under a rock because some things they may bring up I'm unaware of, man. It's like the first time I heard of it, or like, wow, you know.
What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret is sometimes joining the gang. I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? I lived enough and long enough to see that I didn't need it. My life would have been a little bit easier, man. I could have put a lot of energy elsewhere.
What makes a young man join a gang at 13?
Well, I could say just the things that were going on in the times where I grew up, it's just a lot of bullshit that we have to encounter, you know, getting jumped, getting banged on, you know. It created a lot of anger, you know what I'm saying? We already have repressed anger from daily things we had to go through in the neighborhood, but to deal with that with your own peoples, you know what I'm saying, on top of that bothering, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, your dad made it tough at home, but then is there peer pressure for you to join a gang?
Yes, always. Yeah. Every neighborhood we stayed in, there was pressure to join their gang, they turf. And we grew up in a lot of Crip neighborhoods, and I didn't like it. You know, I had dudes when we go to the grocery store, it's my father's age, banging them, and I couldn't stand that shit. You know, I mean, they always try to make us feel like we were lesser than because we weren't from their gang, and until we were from their gang, we would beat somebody. You know, and I used to hate the aggressive behavior that we had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Until we were able to move from over there. And after so many times of going through this, you know, it made me despise them guys, you know. So I really didn't like the Crips. I didn't favor no Crips like that.
Yeah, the Crips and Bloods,
yeah,
always bumping heads down there, aren't there? Did you ever get out of South Central? Out of Watts?
Never.
Did you ever see the ocean?
I did. Yeah, I did see the ocean probably like once or twice. You know.
Really?
Yeah, I had to go out.
Dang, living in California, you would think that you get to the ocean all the time, man. Some people like never leave their neighborhoods. That's deep, man. It's real deep.
Since I got out, and you know, the oddest thing happened to me, man. When I went to the beach, you know, I expected me to be looking at the ladies or having this, you know, awesome time, but honestly, I didn't like. It was difficult for me. I ended up crying to myself, and it was like, damn, it's because I never, for many reasons, but to myself, I had tears falling from my eyes, and I couldn't understand why my body was even having that experience reaction to it, you know.
What do you think that was all about?
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think your cup over full. Sometimes, you know, it spills when it wants to, you know.
Was it fear? Was it?
No, it was
anxiety.
I think it was.
Or just realizing that you missed out on all of this.
Yes. That I couldn't believe it. Like, you know,
how old were you?
I'm home. I'm free.
How old were you when you saw the beach?
I was about 14. 14. But I've never really been outside of Los Angeles, you know, like that at all. You know, I've never been to no other states.
Yeah, there's a whole world out there.
Why did you stop being a vigilante? Lines crossed.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you want to do now?
Wow. Now, since I have my heart broken damn near, I don't know what I want. I really always want to travel a little bit and get to see something else, you know. And that's it. I don't want no kids. I don't want anything. You know, nothing.
You have no kids?
No. None.
What's the craziest thing you got involved in? The gangs and all that? Probably saw some violence, right?
Yeah. I'm going to say, we had jumped this older guy, you know. This older guy, you know, he had jumped. He was a little old, too old for my liking, you know. I wouldn't have really bothered him per se, but yeah, you know, he was doing all the things, man, he shouldn't do, you know what I mean, and wearing all the things he shouldn't wear. And he kind of didn't respond to us the way we thought he would, so you know, we had to, you know, break him in and let him know, you know, that fat means greasy. You can't get away with that over here. And I probably would have spared the dude, you know, because he's, like I said, he was older. You know, there's no statutes and limitations to age with this. You know, we had to hit him. You know, when my homie hit him, you know what I'm saying, the dude became unconscious. I kind of stood over him for a minute before I swung on him. And I was like, man, this could be my pops laying here. You know, I mean, I didn't want to kill him. You know what I'm saying? But I still wanted to show the gang, you know, that I was a part of it. You know what I mean? I meant everything they meant. So I swung on them too. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And dude was all right. Luckily he didn't die. But you know, I just gained a sense of myself within myself. You know, I learned like next time I won't be so fearful to speak my mind. And next time I wouldn't bother somebody. If I felt like that, I'll make sure I said it like that. You know.
You seem to be a little different than most of the gang members, or you seem to have.
It's interesting because he said he got his heart broken. I don't care how savage you is, you can't avoid getting your heart broken in life, and it sucks. And he's never traveled anywhere. I hope he gets to see the world for real, because the world is beautiful. There's a lot of things in this place. There's a lot of things in the world that are different from where you're from, and you notice that. But it's deep that he saw the beach and started crying. That's deep to me. That's real deep to me. That's sad, man. That's real sad, man. Like, and then you go from, like, I don't know if you guys watch. If you guys watch my page, you go from hearing this story of what he's been subjected to in his life to hearing somebody blame him for what he's being subjected to. You know what I mean? It's weird, but.
And realize what you were doing.
Yeah, I was aware of it. I had my ass whooped, so I kind of was aware of whoopings. Because I was getting them or giving them.
Then peer pressure gets you into stuff that you regret later.
Yeah, it sure does.
You lost friends?
Yeah, I lost too many.
In prison or death or both?
Both. I lost damn near all of them.
Really?
Damn near all of them.
But what is it that makes you were 13?
13.
What makes a 13-year-old do all that crazy shit?
Damn.
Not having let me say, at home, I feared my father. When my father used to come home, I didn't look at him like, oh, my dad's here, or, oh, my dad, you know, we hadn't had the happy emotion that some children may have when they had it. If I was afraid, I was deeply afraid, and I was afraid of everything I may have didn't do, because I knew the ass whooping and discipline that was coming behind it. So, because I grew up in fear, you know, so long, I didn't really have no happy upbringing. It just, we were in jail before I ever went to jail. I couldn't even leave off my porch. I couldn't have no females come over. It was just like real black and white. It was like too old school, too strict.
That's exactly how my mama was. Exactly how my mama was. That's exactly how, yeah. I feel you, man. I know where you coming from.
You know, and I guess in the long run it paid off, because who would have knew the cards we would dealt later on in our life. And it helped me ace many things that I thought most men couldn't get through. It helped me get through. It gave me enough steel to get through the discipline and the rough-handedness that's coming with prison. You know what I mean? I was able to survive, and not only survive, I was able to become like king, you know, in my own way. And then in a world of turmoil, you know, it helped me in ways he probably could never understand. It helped me. I told him, you had sons that I was not say made for it, but like he made us damn near indestructible, you know, with the violence he put on us. You know, it paid off. I was able to get through it.
What's your relationship like now with your dad?
It's excellent. He's a changed man, you know.
He is.
At a long time, I wanted to kill my father. You know what I mean? I used to sleep with knives under my pillow. And I didn't even know, I was unaware I was doing it until my mother used to complain about all the knives missing. And when we used to do the spring cleaning, he used to call, you know, we find all the knives in my room. And she used to say, son, why you have so many knives in your room? And I never could tell her, you know, in my heart that, Mom, you know, I was tired of my father kicking my ass like this, that hey, man, one day I planned on making sure his ass didn't hit me again, you know, and I was going to stab him if I had to, but I knew I had one time to swing. One time, if I didn't swing and kill him the way I thought I would in my mind, he was going to kill me. So I used to work out a lot. You know, my pop said one thing to me, he had me laugh to this day. He said, hey, man, I'm not worried about how big you get. He said, you see this? He said, as long as this finger, my trigger finger working, he said, I ain't worried about none of y'all. I got a bullet with you niggas' name on the back. I laugh at it now, but I have to say, Pop, you don't tell your kids no shit like that, man, you know.
Right. What is it that changed in your dad?
Huh?
What is it that changed?
I think it's God. It's nothing, it can't be nothing short of him, because it's a miracle. That's the most violent man I've ever known in my lifetime. You know, I love him because I respect his reasoning for it. It was just, there was a little...
Did he just want you guys to straighten out?
That's it. He just wanted to, at least the minimum we get in school, he accepted C. But he wanted us basically go to work, go to school, you know, don't ever leave your mother, watch your mouth, you know, respect.
Did you get jobs?
Yeah, he taught us order.
What jobs have you had?
I had a Krispy Kreme. I worked at Wendy's. I worked at a McDonald's before, and I worked at the cleaning service for Tidy.
Dang, so like his daddy was. That's good though. Like he's got a good relationship, and he seemed like he ain't mad at him at all for real. Like he knows it traumatized him, but he ain't mad at him for it. He still raised a good man though. He did. He still raised a good man. He's definitely a messed up dude, and you know, you went down a path that he wasn't. That could have been altered had his father been a little more caring in his life, but definitely like, oh man, this is a good story. Woo.
Cleaning service.
And drugs are part of your life?
Yeah, man, they part of my everyday lately. Since I got out, I've been having a hard time coping with society. There's no therapy that I've been going to. There's nothing that, like, legal, you know what I'm saying, or something that would make sense that'll help me. So I went to my own medication, you know, in a weird way, and it was poison. I said, how the hell poison become my medicine in these times, you know? But yet I found myself using it, something that I despise, and seeing it tear others down around me.
When did it start for you?
It started actually in prison, a little bit, like towards the end of my sentence. You know, I indulged a little bit. You know, I didn't want to spend too much. I didn't have money like that, so I didn't spend my money in there like that on no drugs. But when I got out, because it's more easy to, you know, get to, I found myself, I guess, with a lot of situations I was going through, or been going through, even homelessness, man. Wow. That was like, I used it as a coping mechanism, you know. I start using the drugs. I start sniffing. And I hate it though because it tore me down. You know, I used to be so big when I got out. I was way bigger than what I am. Really? Yeah, man, mentally and physically, you know. But I allowed that to, you know, have its wear and tear on me a little bit. So I can't wait till I get off of it, you know.
You've been out of prison for how long now?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And you've been struggling.
And I've been using it here for 4 years. Through my hardship with my woman, you know, the relationship issues, infidelity, little things like that. I use that to help me numb and cope with what I felt like I physically couldn't take. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to, you know, end up putting myself back up in there for life. You know, for some of the things that I've seen so far. You know, even with some of my homies, just the disrespectful things and things you may encounter in these times. You know, I wasn't necessarily ready for it. You know, me being locked up so long, I got a gut reaction towards a lot of things, man.
Do you think prison is...
Right there, respond to the drowning.
How could this possibly be true?
Matthew, you looking wonderful this evening.
Thank you very much. You know, is there any rehabilitation in prison, or is it just...
Yes, hell yeah it is. All the way around the board. I knew from the first year I was in there, I didn't want to go back. It wasn't for me, and no matter how big I get in here, and no matter how many fights I have in here, how many niggas I stab, you know, I don't need to be here. I don't want to be here. This is not what I was made to be here for. You know.
So you're doing things now to make sure you don't go back?
For sure. I at least think about it. I did long enough to make sure I think about a lot of things before I do it. But unfortunately, when it comes to myself, I don't use my best judgment. I'm so careless. I'm trying to teach. A long time I used to tell myself not to give a fuck because it was beautiful. It was necessary for me in there, you know, to get through my time. But now that I'm out here and I see that you need to give a fuck, at least for just a little bit for yourself, I have a hard time teaching myself to give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And to care for myself, because I need myself like I never needed me before.
Yeah, prison just it's such a racial.
Yeah, it makes it very racial.
Environment now.
Even if you ain't racist, it's gonna make you racist. It's gonna make you racist at least to where you're aware of what racist is, and
you know, whether you're a blood or a crip, you end up being kind of in the same gang when you're in prison, right?
No. If you're a crip, you're a crip. You're a blood, you're a blood. You're gonna stay that way.
What prison were you in?
I was in High Desert. I did Corcoran. I did Ironwood. I did CMC, California Men's Colony, and that was it.
Yeah, I've heard that prison is, you know, the Mexicans are the Mexicans and the blacks are the blacks. And
yeah, exactly. They get apples with the
what
apples.
do they call the whites? The
woods.
The woods.
Wood pie. Yeah, I was like that shit. It was kind of, you know, different, but I respect them. I like the skinheads. I learned one thing about me and some of them skin on the white wood. They just as nice as me.
Yeah.
The whites
That's
are all,
facts. That's facts.
like the skinheads, right?
Yeah, with the shit though. Some more man with the bullshit, man. I learned respect though. I learned about different races and they culture a little bit more than I ever had. I learned to respect them in the way they should be.
Where would you like to see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I would love to see myself owning my own business, living in my own home, probably pretty much alone, I may have me a decent young lady that I hopefully grown with, you know what I'm saying? But if not, I'm alone. I see myself happy and alone.
Do you have any friends?
Not really. I would like to, there's a few people that I've called from, I thought were my friends since I've been out, but I learned otherwise. And it's okay, I'm not learning. They chapter with my story is over.
It's amazing how many of the men and women that I've talked to that are on the streets that claim they don't really have any friends.
None. And I think it's in these times it's beautiful.
I think that's deep. That person's chapter in my story is over. Let's keep going. I don't want to think too much about that.
Not to, because a lot of times you can get upset. We learn a lot of people not your friend. And then some of the friends I have, the very few, are like family. They're more than like family. They're the family for me in these times, the way my own family won't be for me when I needed them the most, I learned that family it's not just a home term, you know what I mean? Family can be through friends and others, you know what I'm saying, that are family or they're related, the way they act, by their gesture.
I think I asked you this before, but I'm not sure you answered it. What was it that changed in your dad that he's such...
God.
Everything, his reaction, the way he's always...
What was it, like, religion, or was it drugs that he stopped, or anything like that?
It wasn't religion, because he always...
It's just growing, man. He growing and realizing what kind of man he was, like, and that's it. That sucks, but...
always believed in God, but...
Let's hear it.
Maybe he just aged?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it was a miracle.
But he's cool now.
Yeah, I'm talking about he's an excellent father. Me and him you couldn't break us apart. You know what I'm saying? And what touched me the most is that I'm aware of all the anger I used to have, but when I see him, how I talk to him and I let him know to his face how, you kind of made me feel. And I always, that's how I dealt with some of the things I dealt with in my own lifetime, behind his reactions. He apologized. And he looked me in my eyes and he said, you know what, son, as a father, I'm sorry. I probably didn't mean none of that. He explained that he was beat. So his upbringing from his mother beat him for things she didn't have no right or reason to, and he didn't understand why he was being beat. So he said, he beat us in blind emotion, thinking that was the right way, you know what I'm saying? But he apologized to me. He's like, that was something I didn't expect. I had so much heat, and it just took the fire out, you know what I mean? I wanted to find that fire again or be mad at him, give an excuse, but when he apologized, it was enough. It was enough.
You forgave him.
I forgave him.
Yeah. Forgiveness is powerful.
Yeah. And we the best. We're unbreakable. There's nothing I can't do or won't do for him. And that touches him even more to know that I could do something or hurt him. I won't.
Tyson, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
It's basically when you talk, you teach, you listen, you learn. To be more patient, to be more understanding, and to understand that I do not know everything, that I keep an open mind, man. To keep learning, keep an open mind. But to know thyself so that I don't cross myself or others. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Tyson, thank you very much for sharing your story. I wish you the best of luck out there, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Man.
Thank you.
Man, that was real, man. That was real. Everything he said was 100% right. Yeah, man. Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know everything. Be more patient with people. Have understanding. Have love for people, you know what I mean? And give people a chance to, grow and build. His father grew and built. Apologized to him after so many years. And, man, it's a deep story, man. Every time we get into them stories, it always gets to me. But, I ain't going to talk too much about we talking about his, man. Like, all right, yeah, we out.